Welcome back to Sidelined with Jonny and Noah, episode 8, the Halloween episode. I'm Noah.
And I'm Jonny. And this is Hollow Weekend on Water Cooler Talk. In this episode, we're going to talk about topics around the league, Deshaun Watson, injuries, players who answer the call.
And we're going to have a new special guest, a new member to the channel.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to introduce them today. So
let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go.
In topics around the league, what do we have?
Well, the first one is a pretty obvious one. Due to recent reports, Deshaun Watson. A lot of trade rumors going on with him, and apparently, according to multiple sources, there's already a trade in line for the Miami Dolphins to acquire Deshaun Watson. Number one, they're the only team that he's waiving his no trade clause for.
Which is kind of interesting.
It is interesting.
You could tell he clearly likes that organization for some reason.
For some reason.
I don't know. Maybe there's more massage parlors in Florida.
Maybe. I don't know. But the reason that this trade has not gone down is because of the obvious legal issues. So Miami said, we're not going to agree to anything as long as that stuff is unsolved. So
and he isn't going to be placed on the commissioner's list even if he's active.
Have enough evidence.
Yes, exactly, because they don't have enough evidence, which is a good thing for him, because he's obviously a star player. And the question is, if they trade for him, do they get more compensation because of his star level, or do they not give up that much because of this ongoing situation? But we'll see. Next, we have teams that went from worst to first. Obviously, we have Cincinnati, kind of came out of nowhere.
Leading the conference right now.
Yeah, which is crazy. Number 1 seed. Who honestly would have thought that? Next, we have Arizona. We know they had potential, so they weren't exactly worst, but they were not potentially 8-0 going into Thursday night.
Yeah, no, they look really good. And then following that, we have the Chargers.
Yeah. All
these teams, went from way out of the playoffs last year. I mean, the Cardinals were close, but the other two, way out of the playoffs. They had top picks. Rashawn Slater at 10. And Jamar Chase at 5, I believe.
Everything seems to be panning out.
It seems to be panning out pretty well for these three teams.
And their first, one of their rookies this year, Asante Samuel.
Yeah, he's
looks pretty solid.
And now we're going to be talking about a huge trade that happened. Well, not huge, but
a fun trade. It's definitely a fun trade.
The reuniting of the Saints running backs, Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. He's back. The Houston Texans send him over for, I'm pretty sure, a 6th-round pick the Saints gave, and pick swap in the 7th. A pretty fun trade. Mark Ingram,
this has potential to be pretty scary.
Huge
Halloween presence.
And these two are a dynamic duo. They always have been. I know he's older, but this is still a trade to look at. I mean, and he might play this week, they said.
That would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
So, next we have a new head coach process about hiring. This is if the team no longer employs their head coach, if they fire them mid-season. With that, the team is allowed to interview a candidate for a head coach position during the final 2 weeks of the season. That is with consent from their current team. So that's pretty neat.
So Eric Bieniemy, very good coach, very good coordinator for the Chiefs. He might be on the move before the season.
He's been in that fringe head coach place last couple of seasons.
What they do the rest of the season.
Yeah, because they're not looking great. But yeah.
Moving on to injuries in the league, I'm going to go over the weekly ones, and then Johnny's going to take over and talk about a lot of IR people, which is really sad to hear. But in lesser sad news, Tyrod Taylor back from the IR after a couple weeks.
That's pretty huge.
Yeah, no, pretty huge. Well, he's back from the IR, but he's not. He may not play this week, but he's activated, so that opens up the 21-day window for him to come back.
That's huge.
But unfortunately, there are weekly injuries. Zach Wilson not placed on the IR. Might need to be
kind of a surprise.
A PCL injury. It's 2 to 4 weeks, so I guess they're anticipating a 2-week recovery.
Yeah,
because he's not on the IR right now. But
they did just trade for the GOAT,
Joe
Flacco.
Yeah.
So
and then Miles Sanders, he has an ankle sprain. He will most likely be out this week. Kenneth Gainwell will take over. Ankle sprains are no joke, so missing 1 week is fine. And Gainwell will probably get a ton of reps with that. Baker Mayfield, he's questionable this week with a shoulder. I'm not sure if he's going to play this week or not, but he has a completely torn labrum. I'm pretty sure in his opposite of his throwing shoulder. So he said he's going to toughen it through the season, but there's a chance he might not play. Following them, Antonio Brown, his ankle might be a few weeks. Short-term IR, possibly.
It's definitely possible.
Nowhere, but once again, ankle injuries are no joke.
That's a crushing blow for that team.
And finally, Devontae Adams and what's his name? Number 13.
Allen Lazard.
Yeah, Allen Lazard. My bad. Yeah, both of them are on the COVID list. They will not be playing Thursday night. By the time you see this, that you'll already know about that. But just something to look forward to. Not look forward to, but look into for the next week, because they might not play because Lazard is not vaccinated, I believe. So there's a chance if they are on this COVID list and they don't test negative 2 times, they might not play next week. So
that's huge. Definitely.
That's the IR slots.
IR slots. A couple of really big injuries this week.
A couple of season enders.
First we have Khalil Mack dealing with a foot injury. Kind of surprising that he went on IR.
Yeah, they didn't.
They didn't really talk about it very much.
He was about to play this week.
Yeah, exactly. It seemed like he was questionable going into the week, and then all of a sudden he hops on IR. So that should only be 3 weeks. They want him to get healthy for the remainder of the season. Not that they're going to be contending for playoffs. I don't think so. But it's just trying to make sure he gets healthy. Next we have a big blow to the New York Giants defense. Jabril Peppers with a season-ending ankle injury and torn ACL. That's a real frustrating one.
That's a lot of injury too.
I know.
So, and that's his last year of his contract.
Yeah, that could have been his last game in MetLife. Big question. Next we have JJ Watt, a potential season-ending injury.
4 injuries in that shoulder. Torn labrum, dislocated shoulder. I think there's a torn ligament in the shoulder. Yeah. There's just a lot.
That really sucks for that Arizona Cardinals defense and for JJ Watt.
Yeah, stinks for the defense and JJ
The
Watt.
one time he finally has a chance to win a ring.
And riddled with injuries.
Yeah,
he's been his whole career, but he's always been a stud. So hopefully he'll come back stronger. I'm not sure if this is it for him or not. I'm not saying.
I don't think it is,
but he's up there in age, so you never know.
Yeah, and note on JJ Watt being injured and losing him for the season, the Cardinals also get back Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
So you're kind of swapping two. You're swapping 2 premier pass rushers. It would have been nice to have both of them, but it's frustrating. And then we also. Oh, actually, I lied. That is it on the IRs. Next, we have players who answered the call. Players who really performed really well. What do we got?
Well, we're gonna start off with Tua. Although he had 2 picks, he led his team into a fight to the end.
They really did.
Tua
crushing loss,
but he had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
he looked really good. He ran really well.
Has he silenced the doubters yet, you think?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't quite say that. Tua looked good.
He really
looks like
did.
The quarterback that they might have drafted. He's getting up to health.
It's just all about consistency, because clearly the consistency is not there. And the Falcons defense is not very good. So I'm happy that he had the 4 touchdowns, but that needs to roll into the next week.
Well, he also had a good performance the week before then, but of course, anyone can have a fluke couple games.
Yeah, exactly.
Taylor Heineke, the backup quarterback for the football team, he played pretty well a couple weeks before he started falling apart. So you never know. I think Tua answered the call though. Surely 4 touchdowns.
I think so.
So I would go with him. And what about you?
Next, we have the Raiders defense. They weren't playing a very great offense. The Eagles. They're like middle of the pack offense. Jalen Hurts is surprisingly a solid quarterback as of so far.
Struggles with accuracy, but
they really kept him contained inside the pocket. They didn't let him scramble too much, but a lot of sacks. Max Crosby looks fantastic, and they really stepped it up. And they're rolling into the playoffs as it seems.
It looks like they're 5-2, second in the conference, and that defense might be a huge factor for that.
I think so. I mean, their offense is rolling, obviously, but this defense is really helping them potentially make it to the playoffs. You have, Casey Hayward, who's kind of surprising, didn't have a great season.
He's up there in age, but he's a very underrated player because he's always been a good corner.
Yeah, but last year he didn't play that great in his final year with the Chargers and comes here to Las Vegas and has been lighting it up. One of the best quarterbacks according to PFF as of right now.
Oh, yeah. And finally, to wrap up, answering the call, we have Carson Wentz. There's no better explanation to say that he is simply been playing exactly like he was in the Eagles before all those injuries.
during his MVP season.
Yeah, I mean, although he only threw for 150 passing yards, he had 2 touchdowns. His passer rating was 106.3, which actually in his recent weeks, if you take a look, it's 127, 128. So he's been playing pretty well. And silencing doubters, I think, since the beginning when he's been getting hurt.
I think so.
The double sprained ankles we talked about earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And I think he's been playing really well. And
he really has.
He's looked pretty good. And this year, he only has 1 interception. So,
which is surprising because he was a turnover machine.
He was. Last year, he was a turnover machine. I think he may not be the fantasy quarterback you're looking for, the MVP that he used to be, but he's definitely a quarterback that can lead a decent team with good weapons to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he really answered the call this week and showed that he can win against a good 49ers defense and a decent 49ers team.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
And now they are, what, 2-4?
2, or 2-5.
2-5.
Yeah.
Are they 2-5?
Yeah, tied with the Giants for 2-5.
Tied with the Giants 2-5. Yeah, so they can make the playoffs.
I really think they can.
And if Carson Wentz, keeps it up, honestly, I wouldn't put it behind them.
Yeah. This wraps up last week's recap. Don't forget to stay tuned for our next video where we introduce our new member of the team and special guest for this week.
Yep. And make sure to like, subscribe, follow both Twitter's Water Cooler Talk 2021 and League of Beasts. Also, make sure to follow the TikTok. We've been uploading a couple of videos.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to have more just to keep you guys entertained. So keep watching and stay safe, everyone.
Enjoy
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.